for any reason other than she values and loves herself because she could easily not be single if she were willing to settle. Framing being single as that's because I value myself. That's because I love
100%.
myself. I could go out there and just find somebody. Like there's a lot of people out there to choose from, and many people do choose to settle.
It's very easy to find someone. Like if you have no standards and you are happy with anything and you will put up with anything. With heterosexual relationships, men are not the competition for each other when they are dating a woman. It's they're competing against a woman's solitude.
So almost the more comfortable you get with your solitude, the more of a high quality partner you'll get. Because you won't be settling in that way.
Exactly.
No.
So there's a lot of truth to what they're saying right here. And I know the knee-jerk reaction simply just disagree with what they're going back and forth about. But the more selective you are, the better chances for a better partner that you have. Yes, on the surface, that's absolutely true. But we also understand that over time, what we've been seeing that the longer you are single, the harder it is for you to actually, when it is time to pair with someone, it just makes it a harder thing because again, you get used to the solitude. We are adapting to the wrong things and we're doubling down on them. Right? Yes, it's easier to be alone. Easier being the operative term here. Not more rewarding, but easier. You don't have any other thing to expect but your own thing. It's like when you leave your place, when you leave your apartment, you come back, you know where exactly everything is because it's exactly where you left it. And there's comfort in that for the I think the short term. But we both can understand, both genders can understand that we were not put here to be alone. We're better together. We're better socially together. Yes, if you have the means to support yourself and be by yourself, so be it. But realistically, and this is just from an economical point of view, it's harder. It's harder right now to be a single provider, let alone if you have kids. Right? On average, we're making the black community making $50,000, 50,000 for women, 55 for men. That's that's poverty after you take out taxes and have to pay for everything you have to pay for. So would it be better if we did these things together? Absolutely. But we have narratives like this coming and saying that, hey, being by yourself, this is the best thing for you. But we understand the other side of that. In terms of dating, the longer you're single, the older you get, the less value you have on the dating market. I think that's a fair assessment. Not the less value you have as a person, right? I think this also gets confused, and this is something why women sorely rally against this. You have less value dating. It's not the older you get. So when we're telling people, sit back, wait, take your time, get used to being alone, and that you somehow going to get a better partner, I think that part is completely false. But listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still trying to do 2 a day. Let me know how the audio sounds because, new mic, we subbed in. Hopefully things are better. There's 1 or 2 more videos that might get sifted through that have bad audio, but I'm trying not to put you guys through that. Um, so we'll play this one back and, see what we can extract from it.
Woman is single in her 30s for any reason other than she values and loves herself because she could easily not be single if she were willing to settle. Framing being single as that's because I value myself. That's because I love
100%.
myself. I could go out there.
So I want to highlight this part, right? And I want to speak to the men here, right? And it's often what I say in my own little circle. Don't settle, right? If that means going home on a slow Tuesday by yourself, that means going home on a slow Tuesday by yourself. That's fine. Be more selective, right? If we look at when we accuse people of delusion, right, and we look at it and saying, "Hey, why do you think that?" If we just borrow the number system, right? You're a 5. Why do you think you deserve an 8, 9, or 10? Yeah, because in the very recent future or very recent past, I slept with an 8, 9, or 10, right? Sometimes that's how we communicate our sort of value. That's how we learn our value. I was with this person. Men, I do. You find no problem settling, right? Let's go. We dress it up and we call it as taking one from the team, slumming. But for that night, that's not what you usually like to do, but the desire to be with someone over no one or just by yourself, we give into that. We give into the flesh. We give into that desire. So we just settle for someone for the night. That's not our usually a cup of tea. That's not our usual speed. That's not what we usually date. That's not what our friends, family would think who we would be with. When they envision you, we're still keeping the man. When they envision you and they envision the type of woman you would be with, because that's based on the type of man they know you to be with, would they picture that person on that slow Tuesday? You're settling. Right? I think if we can adopt, I think there's, and I've said this in a couple other videos, there's a lot of game that we can learn from women. There's a lot of takes that we can look into our own lives and say, yeah, maybe there's a lot that we should start changing. One I always harp on is self care. We need to look at them and say, that's the way. I need to adopt those behaviors because my self care is atrocious. I, for one, personally, sleep has always been a problem for me. I'm always up doing something when I know I should be in bed. Massaging, taking care of my body, relieving the stress and tension of, hours upon hours of work. That's another thing. Women are quick to do that. Women are quick to easily understand this is what I need. This is important, and go and do that. If we can see, we can take that game. When women say they don't want to settle, we should be taking that same sort of route. You don't have to settle. You should not settle. If on and we play it on a long enough timeline, right? Long enough timeline. If people start understanding, if men start saying, I'm not going to do this because, well, it's beneath me. It's how I view myself. I hold myself to this standard, and this relationally doesn't make sense to me. Women do it all the time, right? And just the same way as they slum it, they settle, they do like, I'm gonna go and date with him because I'm hungry. He's thinking he could pull this, right? He's erroneously thinking that. We can see the evil and we can see how bad that is. We need to be able to see the other side. Don't sleep with women you have no intentions of being with. Don't sleep with women you're not attracted to. Don't sleep with women that just because it's a slow Tuesday and you're bored. Don't, right? Let's take this conversation about not settling, apply it to ourselves, and see where we can help ourselves, where we can up our own game. It's not saying that they're wrong. I don't know that so often that's a quick thing that you want to agree with. You just we want to hit back whatever they say, something like this. Yes. If women want to wait until whenever, right? They want men to compete with their solitude, okay, don't fight it, right? Don't fight it. Just okay, that's fine. Move on, right? You don't have to convince anyone. Hey, you know what? The longer you wait, the harder it is for you to find someone. Women and time don't have the best relationship, but if you want to you want to remain alone, right? And not mean dating, because you have to date to find that person, but you want to just remain alone and think that this is an easier solution. That is fine. Do not be in the comment section running after these people in their posts, trying to make them feel some sort of way, convince them otherwise. If these are people who are not your cup of tea, these are not for you, keep on moving. This is how we start resetting, right? The clock. This is how, not the clock, but the game, right? This is how we start bringing home prices back down to reality. When you stop purchasing, right? When you stop paying the high price, when you stop paying an erroneous price, and again, this is genderless right here, right? We understand this. When you stop settling on both sides, we'll get a better outcome down the line. Yes, a lot of us are going to be sacrificial lambs. A lot of us are just going to die alone, right? Men and women. I think men have done a better job of coming to terms with that. I think women are easing on the way there as well. When we're talking more about, why do I need a man? I can do for myself. I can do all these things. Men are competing with my solitude. That's fine, right? The end result is still the end result. If women are saying these men that I have access to are not worthy of me, that is fine. That is understandable. We hope that makes sense for everyone, right? If if a woman's saying, I don't do coffee dates, and we find her, you're not really that attractive, so why would you say that? That's her prerogative. Time and life itself will either show that, you know what, you were right. You're right. You got the man of your dreams. Right? You got your fairy tale ending. Or you don't. Let life sort some of these things out. The best thing we can do is sometimes you hear stuff like this, you simply retreat. You simply retreat, you go back and you say, okay, I'm going to go mind my business over here. I'm going to find my own solutions over here. You can do whatever else you need to do, whatever makes sense for you. Wait, don't wait. Take yourself out the dating game, remain dating. It's time we start taking clues and hints from women's game and say, that's applicable to me. And women, I hope you would do the same thing. But if no one's going to settle, then maybe in 3, 4 generations, we'll all be sort of level set and understand. Yeah, I wasn't settling. I was getting someone that was actually on my level. I just had grandiose sort of opinion of myself. And again, that's genderless. Listen, if you do disagree, you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen right now, excuse me, see videos on your screen right now, go ahead and take a look at those and let me know what you think. And and if you listen to some of my crackling voice and this cough that I just can't seem to, get rid of, go ahead and throw me a subscription, right? I'll see you guys in the next one.